Dun 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 dun. All right, people, I'm Garrett. This is Making Movies, and today we're going to delve into the world of wireless video transmission. Now, obviously, if you're a solo shooter and it's just you going out and shooting cool, creative things, this might not be something that's on your radar, but as you grow as a filmmaker, filmmaking is not a thing that you do alone. It's not something that you are a solo forever on. And the bigger you get, the more people are involved, and the more people that are involved, the more people need to be able to see what it is that you are shooting. For instance, if you are hired on as a shooter, the director is going to want to see the footage that you are capturing, and generally without a wireless video transmission system, they're either going to be humping your shoulder to see what it is that you are shooting while you are shooting it, or require playback after every single take, both of which are either really uncomfortable or don't really help keep a quick workflow while on set. So a wireless video transmission system helps send the video that you are shooting out to another screen or monitor, so then other people can see what you're shooting while you're shooting it. With that out of the way, I want to talk about this. This is Hollyland's newest wireless video transmission system. This is the Mars 400S. This is the next generation of their very popular Mars 300. The 400S, of course, expands on what worked really well with the 300 while adding some new things onto it. The first thing you notice right off the bat is that both of these have full metal construction. Nothing is plastic on them. Obviously the antennae are, but these unscrew when you're storing them and traveling anyway. But the bodies of these are full metal. This is great because, of course, as I build a kit out, I want to make sure that everything is nice and robust. And this I feel very confident throwing into my case or my bag, building it onto a camera rig, going on to shoots where things might get somewhat precarious. And I know that these are going to hold up really, really well. We'll go over the body real quick here. First, on the one side, you have your on-off toggle switch. You have a DC power in. On the back, you have a standard Sony L battery mount. There's a metal release button here for that. On this side, you'll notice that it is both HDMI and 3G SDI capable, meaning that as you scale up, you might be using an HDMI kit today, but your next camera rig might be SDI, or you might be shooting on somebody else's camera or have an SDI capable camera rig. Having the functionality of both on the transmitter as well as the receiver is great, because then you can also mix and match signals. If I have an HDMI camera but an SDI monitor, these will still talk to each other and vice versa, which is pretty incredible. Along the front here, we have our display as well as 3 buttons to control our channels. The only other thing I want to note, and we're going to kind of come back to it later, is this little QR code here right underneath the battery plate. We'll talk about this in a second, but that's going to be important, so remember that. It comes with some accessories. It has the 4 antennae that you attach to the top here, and it comes with a 5th, just so you have a spare in case something happens to one of these. You then don't have to run out and immediately replace it, which is super great. It comes with a power brick. This would work for both devices, either or device. Generally, I would imagine this would be something you'd use on the receiver more than the transmitter, but however you want to work it. And the nice thing is that this little barrel plug also has a screw port, meaning that when you plug it in, you then can lock it in by screwing it like so, and then nothing's going to cause it to become unplugged. The other accessory I really like is it comes with this L bracket here. It is just a standard hole on one side, 1/4-20 thread on the other. This little L bracket, again, something I would imagine you'd use mostly on the transmitter, can attach to the bottom here. It comes with a 1/4-20 screw with a hand twist, which I love, like this. And now you can mount this either 1/4-20 via cold shoe, which it does come with a cold shoe mount, or something which I would use more standard, like a friction arm, and screw this right in here. So then it doesn't have to stand tall ways, it can stand long ways. Tall ways and long ways? Whatever, you get what I'm saying. I have these large NPF batteries. I was using these on a shoot here, and with these big bad boys on each of these, I had juice all day. I never once replaced the batteries. I don't know what the certified runtime is on this, but with these monster dudes, I ran a full day without ever having to replace the batteries, which is awesome. And I never shut them down. They always were on, which was great. All right, so when you power them on, you have 8 channels to choose from. 1, through 8. There's 8 channels. So depending on what kind of wireless congestion you're getting, you have the ability to then move between them. And to do that, all you would do is you'd use these side arrows and you can change whatever channel you want, confirm it with the center button, and it will then confirm that with your receiver device. They'll both end up on the same channel, which is really nice that you don't have to do that individually. These boast to have near no latency, and in my experience with them, I would argue that that is in fact true. To show you what I'm talking about, we're gonna take this transmitter here. This is probably gonna get a little weird because I'm just gonna show you this screen here. We'll plug, all right, calm down. We'll plug this in via HDMI here, like so. So now we have a video signal in, which it's then going to transmit to this. The Mars 400S has 400 feet line of sight range, meaning that, of course, these two devices can be up to 400 feet apart from each other, and as long as they can physically see each other, you'll then have crystal clear video signal. Part of the construction of this, you can see these ridges on the front here, do help act as kind of a heat sink. While these would get warm, they never have gotten very hot for me. They do maintain a really good temperature, as well as having 2 small fans. And right across the top here, you can kind of see these vents. There's a fan inside that is blowing air through this, so it does keep it nice and cool, but it isn't that loud. I mean, can you hear this? I mean, it's barely audible, so it's not going to affect your overall sound or rig. This is going to be much quieter even than a wireless follow focus would be. So this is not an accurate latency test, of course, because it is this kind of multiple repeating thing going through all of the studio monitors and then down into this. But cool little video echo aside, you can see here that this is wirelessly transmitting video to this. But one of my favorite features of this whole thing is going back to this QR code we were talking about before. So on the back of the transmitter, underneath the battery, there is this QR code, and that works directly with Hollyland's app. Hollyland makes an app called HollyView, and when you load the app up, let's clean off this screen. Gross. When you load up the app, it will pull up this little screen here, which is just using, of course, the camera, hello. And what it's looking for is it's looking for this QR code. So all I have to do is take this, come over here, scan the QR code. Turn that down. It then, via Wi-Fi, will connect this guy to that guy, use the QR code to pair the two together, and then it's also sending a wireless video signal here. So then I can have my director or whoever needs to see the main monitor, whether it's the AC, the focus puller, Video Village, DIT, whoever it is that needs to see the real one, can with this, but then other people can use this as a preview monitor. The latency here is about the same as the latency everywhere else, which is near none, right? Your standard over HDMI is gonna give you about 60 milliseconds of latency. That's gonna be whether it's a hardwired monitor or not. So this is not adding anything more to that, but it's also not adding anything more to this, which I find fascinating. So I think that this device, the fact that there's one transmitter that can send to, in effect, multiple receivers, one of course being a physical receiver, and then the others being through their app, is absolutely incredible, especially when you consider the price point. This wireless transmission system costs $650. The only funky thing that I ran into with this system is with my GH5S. So with the GH5S, you have the HDMI record out functionality, which of course is generally set to auto as far as down resing goes. So if you have something that can accept a 4K signal, it'll leave it at that. And if it can't, it'll then kind of stagger and alter itself down. For whatever reason, these two don't communicate. And if I leave that on 4K, this doesn't see it. You just go to your HDMI record out settings, go to your downscaling, and instead of going to auto, just put it on 1080p, and then it has no issue. It just took me a while to kind of figure that out. I don't know how that would work with other camera bodies if you're rocking like a Sony, if that has, 4K out, or if you're rocking something with SDI. I think each camera is going to be a little bit different, but I did notice my camera didn't auto downscale for this, so I had to send a 1080p signal to this in order to get it to work. Not a huge deal, but just something to keep in mind. I think this thing's incredible, especially considering the price point that it's coming in at. If for no other reason than the fact that you can have multiple receivers with this Wi-Fi app deal that they've got going on. So if you're in a place where you're building your camera kit out and you are looking for a wireless video transmission system, this is definitely one to take a look at. Anyway, that's all I've got for you. If you liked this video, go ahead and smash that like button for me. If you want to see more content like this, hit subscribe. Also, we're looking at this field monitor next, so make sure you hit subscribe and then push that little bell icon so then you know when I put that video up. And as always, I'll see you in the next episode.